Ready for the second half of Game 3 here in Salt Lake City, Energy Solutions Arena. Utah trying to go up 2-1 in the series, has a 4-point lead, 52-48 over Denver. Back with Tim Legler, I'm Dave Pash. Well, Tim, Darren Williams in the second quarter took no shots, yet Utah outscored Denver by 10 and shot 70% from the field. Paul Millsap shot 100% from the field.
Well, if you'd have told me before the game at halftime, Carlos Boozer, Darren Williams would have 9 points, and Carmelo Anthony and Chauncey Billups 29, I would have said the Utah Jazz are in big trouble, but that's not the case because of the contributions of their role players. Everybody contributed. Take a look at this. Price to Korver to Pasenko for the layup, and then Korver again. Great feed. Right here, drops it off. Pasenko very productive in limited minutes in the first half, and then Paul Millsap was really the story. Comes off that bench, 9 for 9, 18 points, and he was the guy that the Denver Nuggets just did not have an answer for. Give the role players a lot of credit. They came in there down 11, and they ended up giving them a 4-point lead by the end of the half. You take a look at the production right there.
Pasenko starting again for the injured Mehmet Okur, who will not return in the postseason. Meanwhile, Chauncey Billups, an outstanding first half. He told us earlier today he was going to be more aggressive offensively. He was 6 of 8 from the field, 15 points. Melo had 14.
He came out from the gate and really went at Darren Williams, went at Ronnie Price, whoever was guarding him. He didn't really get a lot of looks in the second quarter. He got some extended rest. They went with Ty Lawson and J.R. Smith for a while at the guards, but expect Chauncey Billups to understand he's going to have to do whatever it takes in this second half. That means he's got to try to go for 30. He's capable of doing that.
Holly Rowe had a chance to talk with Denver acting head coach Adrian Dantley.
Well, he was pleased with the defense they played on Darren Williams and Carlos Boozer. He said that's where all our focus went, but the wild card rose up and bit us a little bit. Speaking of Paul Millsap, he said we just can't let he and Pasenko be 12 for 12 in the paint. He said we have got to do a better job, especially when Millsap catches it deep in the post. We've got to give him help.
All right, Holly, Utah will start the second half with the ball, but a turnover on the opening possession and a following transition. Good luck by Carmelo Anthony.
Well, Utah only had 1 turnover in the first half. So one thing they did well, you know, I always preaching any possession where you get a shot is a quality possession in the NBA. They can't turn it over. That time, coughed it up. You see how quickly Denver can convert that into points.
Anthony was wincing in pain as he came down the court, shaking his left hand. Here's Williams for 3. With his 3rd field goal of the night, Utah by 5. Here's Anthony, finds Nene. Billups hanging, ripped that one. Rebound Miles. Here's Williams. Aflalo picked up 2 quick fouls in that first half. He spent much of the rest of the stanza on the bench with Lawson out there, and Billups playing the 2. There's Boozer on the net. Good move by Carlos Boozer, but it won't drop in.
And he loves working along that baseline. It's a great hesitation move, just couldn't quite get it to drop.
He's just 2 of 9 from the field. Came in averaging 19 points per game in the series. Good deed by Miles, tying up Nene. It'll be a jump ball between the 2.
It's great defense. Nene and Kenyon Martin, either one of those guys, when they face up and they go to make that move to the basket, once they put it down, neither one of those guys is very good at passing the ball back out once they've started their momentum toward the basket. They're pretty good passers in the low post when a double team comes before they've dribbled, but off the move, not so. And C.J. Miles read that time, got into Nene's driving lane.
And Nene with an easy victory there. Shot clock is at 5. Here's Billups off the Nene screen. Kenyon Martin unable to knock down another jump shot. He's just 1 of 7 from the field. Here's Williams and Matthews. And Boozer to the basket, draws a foul, the first in the quarter on Denver.
Very impressed with Wesley Matthews in his first playoff series. He just very aggressive. He said he was nervous up in Denver, but he still came out and tried to play his game. He just didn't shoot the ball very well. But tonight he's really aggressive, seems comfortable and confident. He's giving them that additional scoring threat, the playmaker that they really need to take some of the pressure off of Darren Williams and Carlos Boozer.
Kenyon Martin picking up the foul, his 3rd, as Boozer hits the first free throw. It was a great year for Carlos Boozer. He only missed 4 games after missing 45 last year with a left knee injury. He was among the league leaders in rebounding and field goal percentage. In fact, was the #1 shooting forward in the NBA at 56%. Utah by 7 early third quarter. Phillips. Good D by Matthews again. Williams with the blow by. Got it and a foul.
Tremendous change of pace that time by Darren Williams. He has mastered that move where he comes at you with a full head of steam. Kind of hesitates at the three-point line, so you think he's going to rise up, and then he changes gears, gets by you, and then any big guy that gets there late, he's just as strong. So he can get through you, finish the shot, and maybe create a three-point play as he did in that case.
Third foul on a Flalo. 8-0 run by Utah. Largest lead of the night for the Jazz at 10.
You know, in this building, it's about containing runs. You can live with a 6-0, 8-0 run. You got to be careful when they get off those 18-2, 18-4 type runs and really bury you.
Denver was the worst road team in the Western Conference among playoff teams during the regular season. The only Western Conference playoff team under 500. Now, some of those losses came down the stretch after George Karl left and underwent throat and neck cancer treatments. He's not expected back this series as Adrian Dantley is the acting head coach. Boozer with a miss. Rebound Martin. Denver at one point looked like it was going to be the 2 seed and slid down the stretch, went 6-7 in its final 13 games. Won game 1 but lost game 2 of this series. Now down double figures on the road. And a turnover by Anthony. 2-on-1. Williams leaves for Matthews. And Utah unable to convert. Anthony misses the 3.
Well, Utah dodged a bullet that time. Because Darren Williams should have shot that basketball. He was expecting a little bit more interference at the rim. They were conceding the layup, trying to drop it off, and Wesley Matthews really wasn't in a position to catch that ball and finish it, and it almost led to a 3 at the other end to compound it.
It's rare you see Williams make that kind of mistake.
Yeah, usually when he gets to that situation, he's going to go ahead and get up to the rim because you're just not going to be able to prevent him. He's too strong. But I really think he thought the defender was going to go up and try to meet him at the rim, so he thought he could drop it off. I know Matthews was expecting him to shoot it, and that's why he dropped the pass.
Now back-to-back turnovers by Utah. As he pointed out, just 1 in the entire first half.
It's at least 3 here in the first 3.5 minutes of the third quarter. So to get a little bit sloppy with the basketball.
Williams, one of the top assist men during the regular season. He was 3rd in the NBA. Has 5 so far in this game. Here's Phillips off the bounce, trying to draw contact from Williams, but did a good job to back up and not pick up the foul. Matthews into the lane. Flalo got the better of Matthews there. It's been 60-50 for the last couple of minutes. Blocked, but a foul. Matthews on Flalo. That's 2 on him.
I think Matthews got him with the body, made a great play on the ball up by the backboard, but he got beat on this cut, and he's just trailing the play all the way. You see the contact across the left arm and with the body. That's a good call by the officials. He made a nice play on the basketball, but Flalo earned those 2 free throws. Just made a very hard direct basket cut. Wes Matthews was caught off guard.
Aaron Flalo coming over from the Pistons for a 2nd-round pick in the offseason. He was the 27th selection in 2007 out of UCLA. Averaging close to 11 points per game here in the postseason. And he gets both free throws to get Denver with an 8. Chauncey Billups, a big reason why Flalo is here. He recommended Flalo to Rex Chapman and personnel staff. Boozer with the fall away. Said he learned that from Zydrunas Ilgauskas during his time in Cleveland. Didn't make it there.
Well, when a 7'3" guy keeps beating your shot up in practice, you're going to figure out some way to get it over him, and that's where he developed that fadeaway floater.
Anthony trying to fight through a double team and a Utah foul. on Miles.
Right now, Denver needs to get back to their bread and butter. They haven't had one possession in this quarter where they've come down and given the ball to Carmelo Anthony.